Hey, Screaming Geek Media here. I am Jerry the Geek, and Merry Christmas. I know I said that yesterday, but for some stupid reason I had a brain fart and thought yesterday was Christmas, but it is today. But anyways, today we are going to talk about the 4K set of the Mad Max Anthology. But before we do, if you like physical media, Blu-rays, 4Ks, DVDs, home theater, movies, please check out my other videos on my channel. Like and subscribe and turn your bell notifications on. So let's get into the Mad Max Anthology on 4K. You know, this set came from Warner Brothers in late 2021. And of course, if you haven't seen all this stuff on the internet when it came out, they had to end up pulling them off the shelves and recalling them because they had some screwed up audio tracks. And then a couple months later, they finally, sent out the newer versions of them. I just recently got mine through the Black Friday deals in November. I was on the fence on whether or not I was going to do this, do the review of the whole set or individually, and I thought I would just probably condense it into one video. Might be a little bit easier. So I mean, we'll talk about each movie individually, and talk about the video, show some screenshots. I didn't own any of these on Blu-ray, so there won't be any comparisons. It'll just be a quick little, just a few screenshots for each movie, and we'll talk about the audio. And if you're looking, if you don't want to watch the whole video, if you just want to see any particular title, I'll put a little time code down in the description. So if you want to jump to a certain spot, you can do that. Try to make it a little easier for you. But anyways, we'll start with the original Mad Max, which the movie came out in 1979. You've got Mel Gibson, Joanne Samuel, Hugh Keys Byrne, and of course directed by George Miller, which he's actually directed all four of the Mad Max movies. So it's kind of nice that you have someone it was his love that he stuck around and done all of it, and instead of passing it off to someone else to screw up. So it was originally shot in 35mm, has a 4K digital intermediate, HDR10, and has Dolby Vision. And for some weird reason, this is the only one in the set that has Dolby Vision. The other ones don't. So I'm not sure what happened there. But as you'll see here, from the get-go, as soon as the movie freaking started, I was like, wow, this looks phenomenal. This is what 4K is all about. A lot of these newer movies come out, there's no really upsell for the 4K. I mean, there's little tweaks here and there, sure. But these old movies are being restored properly. This is what 4K is all about. This thing looks phenomenal. I mean, the car, the police cars, the yellow has some red on. Those freaking colors just jump off the screen. And the blue skies, it's loads of detail, has the depth, the solid blacks. Like the leather coats really stand out. You see the details of some stitching. You got textures, some good shadows, and so all around they did a phenomenal job here. It looks fantastic. I think I had this on DVD, but for some reason just never picked any of these up on Blu-ray. They were on the wish list, but they just kind of slipped through the cracks because there's so many other things I always want. Now for the audio, they give us a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 and an original mono track. I toggled between the two throughout the movie, and both of them are very well done. Have nice, solid. It's crisp, clear dialogue. No hissing artifacts you would expect from old tracks. So they did a great job cleaning it up. The 5.1 adds only just a little bit more. It wasn't overdone like some of the older movies. It does, sounds natural, some natural ambience in the surrounds. A couple things that was really noticeable when early when he's in his home, and you can actually hear the sound of the surf, the water outside, because he lives on the beach. And you hear seagulls, other little subtle sounds. Anytime they're putting on a leather coat, you can actually hear that so well. So I thought they did a pretty damn good job with the audio. So there is no bonus on this. All the set only has a 4K, no Blu-ray, so you really don't get anything. Next up, we have the Road Warrior, which originally came out in 1981. Mel Gibson comes back. We have editions of Bruce Spence, Michael Preston. Again, directed by George Miller. Originally filmed with 35mm 4K digital intermediate. Has HDR10. Like I mentioned with the Mad Max, this does not have the Dolby Vision. And like the first movie, the video presentation here is rock solid. I'd say it's just as good as the first one. The colors leap off the screen. Some great detail, the depth, the textures, some great contrast. With the blacks and whites and everything else. Everything really leaps off the screen on this. Again, this is just another Warner Brothers title that they just hit out of the park. And any Mad Max fans, these first two movies are, people's favorites, and these are a great addition for anybody out there. Now for the audio, they gave us a Dolby Atmos, and also a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 and 2.0. I toggled between the three tracks throughout the movie. All three of them were very well done. It got everything cleaned up. Crisp, clear dialogue, nice balance across the front. Even in 2.0, sounded very well done. Even simulates some surrounds when there isn't any. Comparing, because I don't have Dolby Atmos and I only have so the Dolby Atmos is downmixed to 5.1. So comparing the Dolby and DTS, it's the usual. DTS is cranked up a little bit more with more bass. But both of them are very solid tracks. Some nice, good, some bass here and there when needed, especially near the end when the refinery blows up. That was pretty intense bass there. So another well done audio track. And unlike the other ones in this set, this one does have some bonus. We have a commentary by director George Miller and cinematographer Dean Simler, I should say. Road War, the making of Road Warrior, and also we have an introduction by Leonard Maltin. So yeah, this is the only disc in the set that actually has bonus materials. Next up, we have Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, which came out in 1985. And again, we have Mel Gibson came back, and we added Tina Turner. Bruce Spence came back as well, and directed by George Miller. Now, I've never owned this on any format. I've watched it originally on VHS. I have never been a big fan of this movie. It is just way out there. It just didn't fit with the other two. Even having George Miller coming back and directing all of them, but yeah, this one just doesn't work for me. Though watching it today, there's this one scene I laughed my ass off is when they go to banish him from Bartertown, and he's up on a horse, and they put this big plastic head over top of him, and all I can think of is the guard in the Shrek movie with wearing that big hat and he runs in a turnstile. That's the one thing that popped in my head when I saw him put this hat on him. I couldn't help it. Now I'll probably ruin it for you. Anytime you watch it, you're going to think the same exact thing. Again, it was filmed in 35mm, has a 4K digital intermediate, finished with an HDR10. Overall, it has a different look and feel from the first one. It's a lot more darker scenes, underground, nighttime, whatnot. But the details, everything is still there. It's very well done. The video's presented, and has some good textures. Even in the dark scenes, some of the details are there. During the daytime, there's not a whole lot of shots in this movie that really shines compared to the first two. But again, like I said, it is very well done. It's not bad. You don't get the same as the first two movies. Now for the audio, they gave us a Dolby Atmos again, and a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 and 2.0. and I toggled between all three of them throughout the movie. And like the previous one, I mean, all three of them are very well done. You know, comparing, since I don't have Dolby Atmos, the Dolby 5.1 and DTS 5.1, the DTS has, you know, just cranked up a little bit more with some bass, and has a little bit more power to it. The 2.0 is actually no slouch, though. It's very well done. The dialogue's nice and crisp, you know, on all three tracks. A nice balance across the front. The surrounds, really, you don't get a whole lot out of them, just more ambience and the music. But very well done. And this one doesn't have any bonus at all, being part of the set. So finally, the last one to talk about is Mad Max Fury Road, which came out in 2015. And we don't get Mel Gibson back for the role. We have Tom Hardy taking over the role of Max. Charlize Theron is in it as well, and Nicholas Hoult, and again directed by George Miller. Now this is a very good movie. I mean, it's action packed throughout. Just watching, if you're doing a Mad Max marathon, the number 3 is my least favorite, but this one, as good as it is, it doesn't feel like the other two. A lot of it is just rehash stuff. Like, I mean, the second one where there has a big long chase scene where they're chasing the tanker, and then the third one you have a long scene where they've got a vehicle on train tracks, they're chasing it, and here we got another where they got a tanker they're chasing. So it's like they kind of reuse the same, they just regurgitate the same stuff. But it is a really good movie. It's action packed. It just doesn't live up to the other ones. You kind of just have to leave it on its own. Now for the film presentation, the movie was shot completely digitally. 2K digital intermediate, so upscaled to 4K. Has HDR10, no Dolby Vision. But in that, for a digital movie, this one does look spectacular on the 4K. The depth and details are there, textures, the facial hairs, not much color to it. The colors they do pop off the screen. So the video here is a phenomenal presentation. Definitely no slouches. And for the audio, they gave us a Dolby Atmos again. I don't have Dolby Atmos, so I got 5.1. And the audio track, phenomenal as well. Being a newer movie, it's a better, it comes across better. The surrounds really kick in. You get more out of your system when you're a new movie for audio track. You definitely can shake your house a little bit, crank it up, and it really rips. So in all, this is a very damn good release from Warner Brothers for the entire set. Luckily, I didn't buy it, day one and have all the hassle of getting replacement discs. I waited it out, and then plus, not only that, is I got a good deal. Now for the packaging, has this nice slip case, and all 5 movies are in one case. Nothing fancy, just a yellow. All of them are the same. I will be putting these in individual cases and have my own custom cover artwork. I just don't like putting all movies in one case. I've just never been for that. Now, if you're interested in this set, right now on Amazon, it's about $55. Grub is about, $46.99. But eBay's got some for as low as $32, $33. Even one of them was brand new sealed, so you still get the digital codes for $32.75. Also, there's a steelbook set on a Zombie for, I think it's about $100. Also, they are available individually, but you're going to be paying a lot more. So it depends on, some of a lot of you collectors out there like the separate slip covers and all that, which I freaking hate. But if that's what you want, you're going to pay a lot more to get them individually. Plus, the first Mad Max, especially on like Amazon or eBay, you can't find it individually unless you get the Kino Lorber. But for some reason, this version from the set, you can't get the first one by itself. Another benefit buying them individually is getting the Blu-rays with them. So that's, and you might get some extra bonus materials. Especially the Fury Road, I know definitely comes with a lot of extra bonus. But I think a couple other ones, the third one, I don't, even with the Blu-ray, I don't think it even had the bonus listed. So it's a matter of, if you want to save money and just get a cheap set, this is the way to go. Or if you want Blu-rays with it and the slip covers, then you want to go individually. But like I said, you're going to be spending at least twice as much. Now, Steelbook set's pretty nice. For $100, it sounds like a lot, but if you go on Zombie and look at it, it's a very nice looking set, and it's got the case around it. They do it. I don't own any, but from what I've seen, their Steelbook sets are pretty damn nice. So that pretty much wraps up my take on the 4K of Mad Max Anthology sets. Great movies. I sit down and just watch them all in one day. The first two are I love the first two. Those are like the holy grail of Mad Max movies. Third one, can live without. The fourth one is good on its own. It just kind of sucks when you watch it in a marathon and it doesn't pull up. And they are making a fifth one. Right now it's titled Wasteland, but it's in early stages of production. I don't even think they started filming it yet. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoy Christmas. And check out my other videos on my channel. Like and subscribe. Turn your bell notifications on for future videos. And we'll see you soon. Merry Christmas. Geek out.